concept we will discuss. So class as a form group. So form group, okay, fine. Now in this, I just given an option. So label. So let's keep a label and username something. And here we have a text box. Input type is equal to text. And in this class as a form control. Form control. Okay. In this, we are adding some validations. We are defining some validations. Like suppose generally for text box, I can use required. Required is one validation. I'm using so min length. Min length is another validation. These are HTML validations. Min length is equal to 4. And max length. So I'm defining max length. Max length is equal to some 10. Min length equal to 4, max length equal to 10. And I am writing some pattern. Pattern is equal to so A-Z and 4 comma 10. That means it should be in uppercase, 4 to 10. So these are the options. These are general HTML attributes only. So HTML5 have validation attributes. Required, min length, max length, pattern, all these are HTML validations only. HTML attributes. HTML5 have all these. Now, generally, so that is the text box, username text box. And we have to designate this as, a model. Usually for form techniques, we use hash. So we need to use a hash. So actually it will have a name. Name is txt name. And it will have ng model. And we have to define txt name. Txt name is equal to ng model. So this is a form binding technique actually. You will learn later in forms. We call these as template driven forms. In template driven forms, a name is declared, txt name. It is an ID reference. Txt name. So it is acting as a model. That means, so whatever the value you entered in the text box, it will be stored in txt name. Txt name not only just contains the value, txt name can identify the complete behavior of this text box actually. Later in forms, you are going to learn about that. So that means now txt name can handle everything. So this txt name so is having the state of this text box also, not only value. State of the text box. That means is it valid? Is it invalid? Now see here, I am applying a class dynamically. So ng class I am configuring. Ng class I am defining the class, and we will use here in the CSS. I will add 2 extra classes. One is error style. So yeah, error style I will display. So border as 2 pixel solid red color, and box shadow as 2 pixel, 4 pixel, and red color. That is the error style. And here I am defining success style, or say valid style, error style and valid style. And valid style usually will have a green color. So valid style is having a green color. Now, if text box is valid, I want to apply those effects. Now see here, ng class have to use an object reference. In that two classes we are having, one is error style. So when error style should apply, when this current text box is invalid, the current text box is referred with txt name. So we can collect it. So that means here we can use txt name dot invalid like this. Invalid is a property which verifies whether it is valid or invalid. Error style will come when text box is invalid. Similarly, so we have a valid style. Valid style. Valid style will be applied when txt name is valid. Txt name is valid. And you can see here, so the text box is red color now. Why text box is red color? Because by default, the validation, by a validation, it is having required. That means if no value entered, it will be in red color. Okay, error style will apply. I will enter so name, so John, that means so JOHN. So still it is invalid because it is expecting uppercase letters, 4 characters minimum. Then I will type here JOHN, then it is green color. Then it changes its appearance. Anything you enter inside it, according to pattern, only uppercase allowed. Anything else you typed inside it, it's not allowed. So I will remove that. Uppercase also minimum 4 characters. If I don't enter minimum 4 characters, then it will be again red. And John, then it will be normal. That is how generally we flip between the effects and display the effects. So when we are dealing with validations, effects, this will play the key role actually. So that's the reason we need to know how we can bind the classes dynamically and how do we apply. Actually, in earlier JavaScript, jQuery, these all validations are very complex. We need to write a lot of logic to verify and handle the appearance. So now it's very simple. Just you can use HTML validations and Angular can identify those problems and it can apply the effects dynamically for your element. Here only one extra thing is new for you is how you collected the state of this text box. That means is it valid or is it invalid? The state of the text box, can be collected by using ng model and referring this ng model with an ID called txt name. This you will learn when we are learning about forms concept. I just showed you in future how we can use it, right? Just an example in future how we can use it. So no need of this example because this is a validation related example. You will learn about it in validations. Just the concept I told you that in future how we going to use this ng class. But for that we need to learn so many things. So how to verify the states and all. Not only valid or invalid, actually text box will have a lot of state. State means whether modified or not, whether touched or not. So many things will be there. Based on that, we can handle it, right? As of now, this is just a point to understand that in future how we can apply. One important problem will come while defining the classes. Actually, so one important point is, so CSS class names are usually separated with hyphen, usually separated with hyphen. So usually separated with hyphen. CSS class names are usually separated with hyphen. Very generally you can observe that. Now, so when you are defining in object reference, class name must be in single quotes.